Hello guys, Solid Jake here with a bit of a vlog and then a discussion about the future of competitive heroes and exactly why it's so promising. So obviously I've been doing Heroes of the Storm for a good 2 years now, and that's a really long time. And I think a lot of us came into this game just loving Blizzard titles and really excited to help make the resport grow because the resports are always awesome, and it's no different. Heroes Esports is absolutely phenomenal. It really is great. But around the end of BlizzCon, we all had these new expectations. BlizzCon really felt like the greatest thing in the world, and had kind of set this standard for what we had expected out of the game. And as a result, when there wasn't a lot happening, I think the show Town Hall started to go down a dark road. You'll notice around the late 90 episodes, it really was a little bit more pessimistic and a little bit too negative overall. And that's when people like Cooby and Zoia were talking about quitting the show, and obviously this is all going on behind the scenes. And ultimately, Cooby just has decided to step away from Heroes for the time being, and Zoya did ultimately end up deciding to step away from the show, but he's going to continue working in Heroes, which I'm very excited about. And when that car did ultimately crash down that dark road, we found two new passengers, and we have BKB and Dunk Train now on the show, and I'm actually really, really excited about that. So I'm hoping for. I just kind of want to publicly say that, I think the show was I think myself too. Just everything. There was a little bit too much pessimism, and that's all changing now. Like, honestly, the future of this game, the future of Town Hall, everything is insanely bright, and a big part of that is not only my new co-hosts, but it's also this patch that they just put live on the servers. Now, it was on the PTR last week, but now it's a reality. Yes, you guys have been staring at Dahaka a little bit here, and there he is on the screen, looking about as fancy as he can be. But he's not even the only reason why this patch is so phenomenal. Now, we can actually just kind of bump through the game really quick. Obviously, they've finally given us ranked play. Let me turn sounds off because they get loud. So ranked play has rank 2 fraudulence. Ranked play has all those new features, and obviously if I was to create a bot game, we could see exactly what it looks like for the draft. Now the draft for a long time has been just kind of and there's been no bans, and I've been complaining about that since pretty much forever, really. I've always been a little bit let down that there's this big disconnect between the pro player and between the the actual server itself. So now they finally incorporated bans into the game, and this is just like one of those crucial steps to building up competitive from the ground up. So now that this whole process is set in stone, it's really like the first stepping stone for the game to really reach its true potential. And we all knew this was going to come eventually. We all knew that Heroes of the Storm would ultimately have a true pick ban phase. And yeah, there's still other features that will help the game grow. But what I really didn't expect, and one of the big things I really want to talk about in this video, is I didn't expect Blizzard to incorporate all of these new questing talents. So basically, heroes like Kael Voss now have all of these brand new talents that basically at a certain point in the game, after you've accomplished X thing, you get a bonus. And, this is one of the cooler ones. So now when you're playing Kael Voss, you basically collect 25 regen globes and you unlock the ability to activate your arcane barrier, your big shield that used to be a talent you would have to get late game. You just now get it. Oh, I have to ban again already. Oh my goodness, these bots draft fast. Yeah, just get out of here, Brightwing. I love you. But let's kind of elaborate on that a little bit more. Let's elaborate as to why these questing talents are good for esports. Well, the questing talents give individuality to an extent, right? It allows that Kael Voss to reach a power spike based on his personal play. So it's not just level 13 power spike anymore. It's now Unending Hatred on Illidan. Once he does manage to get those 20 stacks, he has his own power spike, and that's meaningful for him. And that's going to allow him to make plays in certain scenarios where the other enemy team might not be on that same cusp. I mean, how is that different than, Kael Voss getting Chain Bomb at 13, like one of the old classic power spikes? It's something that he can work towards on his own. He specifically has this objective and something that he's following on. So it actually feels, I think, really fun and rewarding to be the player to do that. But beyond that, I also think it creates a wonderful narrative. And I'm honestly, since I'm a commentator of this game, I'm always looking for those great kind of narratives and great ways to give additional supporting facts and supporting elements of the game to a player. So to say Illidan's done a ton of damage this game is great, but to be able to say an Illidan got his 20 stacks of Unending Hatred at the 7-minute marker, that's far more compelling than, just talking about damage and raw numbers. There's a storyline behind it. We can see him doing it. We can follow him on his journey to get those stacks of his quest. And I really have to give some big props to Blizzard for the entire new questing talents, because truthfully, I feel if they add those to every hero, and I think if they can continue to find meaningful questing talents to put them in the game and continue to expand that idea within heroes, I think it's really going to add a lot to the complexity and the beauty of the highest level of Heroes of the Storm. I mean, they're adding all these great things. We know that their hero design is getting better and better and better. I have to commend them on that as well. And I'm really, really excited to see exactly where the game goes. So really, again, this video is a little weird. I don't generally make these vlogs. I just wanted to touch in and say, look, I know we were a little bit pessimistic for a while, but here's the one patch to rule them all. This patch is doing beautiful things for the game. It's showing wonderful game design that's going to enable players to raise the skill ceiling further and higher than it's ever been before, and that is so very good for this game as an esport. And then we now have the drafts and the bans, and I know the team has been working so hard on making that happen for a long time, but it's just so incredibly awesome to finally have that. Again, I do have to give a massive shout out to Asus for my brand new G752 laptop. This computer is a monster. It's the only reason I'm able to make these videos in my hotel room to begin with, and I am looking to resume streaming very soon. Obviously, you guys have probably heard all the news. I'm buying a house. I'm working on Heroes of the Dorm, which has been the most amazing experience in the world, being able to cast these collegiate teams and being part of this absolutely epic production. So I'm super thankful for that, and I'm super thankful for all your guys' support. So again, thanks for tuning into this vlog. Make sure to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and I'll see you soon. GG's.